Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to show you how to create a very simple login form using PHP and MySQL, which will run on Xampp server. So let's start. At first, go to C drive and then go inside Xampp folder and then inside htdocs folder and then create a folder. Let me give the name as PHP login. Yeah, that's it. And now go inside this folder, and inside this folder we will store all our PHP file. Okay, so this is our VS Code. So now first create a file named index.php. So in this file index.php we will create the login form, like we will create the front end using HTML. So let's start creating the front end at first. So this is the HTML code snippet, and then let's create a form div. Let's give the div ID as form. Let's give a heading named login form, and now let's start creating the form. The form name will be form, then action. Okay, form name will be form, then method will be post, and that's it. Close the form tag. Okay, so now our user label, username, beside this label we will enter our username. Okay, the input field for the username type will be text, ID will be user, name will, let me give the name also as user, and then close this input tag. We want the next next we want the password label. Let us give the label password. Spelling is long. Then let us give the input field for password. I will copy from the user and then paste, and in place of text type password, and in place of ID let me give as pass. The name will also be pass, and that's it. So go to Xampp control panel and start Apache server, and then start MySQL server. Go to the Chrome browser, type localhost, and remember the folder we have used. Let me check the folder once. The folder name is PHP login, and inside PHP login we have index.php. So we have to give similar name, PHP login, and inside it index.php. Enter, and as you can see this is our login form, but we don't want the username and password side by side. We want the password field to be below the username. So let us give a bear tag to make it go to the next line. Let me give 2br tag, save it, and then refresh, and yeah, it is on the next line. Let me add the button also. Input, type a submit button we want, ID, let me give it as btn, value will be login. This value will be shown in the browser inside the button. Okay, that's why we are giving the value as login, and L will be capital, it will look good. And let the name be submit. It's a submit button. Okay, let me check once, and yeah, this login button is appearing beside it. Again, I have to give 2br tag to make it go to the next line. Let me check it now. Yeah, it is as per I wanted. So let's now create a new CSS file, style.css, and let me include the CSS file in index.html. Below this title tag, let me add link rel equals to style sheet, and type will be text CSS, and href means the location will be style.css, because style.css is the file where we will write our CSS. Okay, it's all right. Let's run it once to make sure that there is no error. Yeah, so now go to the style.css and let us give some styling to it. At first I want to give a body background color, so body background color, and let me choose this blue violet and save. Let's see the output quickly, and yeah, next we want to edit the form. So as if you remember, I have given this ID form, so I will use this ID to style the form, hashtag form. Then let me give a background color quickly. Background color, I want white to be the background color of the form, and then I want the width of the form to be 25%, and then I want a little bit of margin, not a little bit, I want margin to be from all the sides 120 pixel auto, so that it comes in the middle. Let me check once. Yeah, it is in the middle. Now I want some padding. Let me give it 50 pixel, and let me check it once. Yeah, now it is looking good. And then let me give some box shadow, not sizing. Let me give some box shadow, ten px, and then 5 pixel. RGB 82. Let me see how it's looking. Yeah, it is looking good. Border radius will be 4 pixel. Yeah, so yeah, now it is looking good. Let me make it 5, or let me make it 6 pixel. It's looking good now. Now let's style the login button. Let me see what is the ID of the login button. It's BTN. So hashtag BTN. Let me give color. The color of the text inside the button will be white. Okay, and I want the background color of the button to be again blue violet. No, not blue violet. Yeah, let me keep it blue violet, and let's see how it's looking. Yeah, it's looking nice. I want it a bit darker than the background of this screen. Yeah, now the color is all right. I want some padding inside the button, so padding will be 10 px, and then I want the font size to be large. Then I want the border radius to be 10 pixel, and yeah, now let's see the output. Yeah, the button is looking cool right now. Yeah, the button is looking good. Now let's see whether it is responsive or not. Let's just check it once. I know this is not the part of this video, but why not make it responsive if we can? Okay, so let me see it once. Okay, so below with 900 it is not responsive, so let me make it responsive a bit. Add media, screen and max width. Let me give it, okay, 700 pixel. The max width will be 700 pixel. And let me set the parameters for the form. Below 700 pixel width, the width of the form will be 65%. Let me give it 65%. And let me reduce the padding, 40 pixel. Let's see how it is looking. So yeah, when it is of the full width, it is like this, and as I decrease it, yeah, now it is all right. Even below 700 pixel width, it is also looking correct. It is looking good up to this. Yes. So now let's move on to the connection part. Now we will connect this PHP file with the Xampp server. Okay. So for that, first go to your Xampp control panel and start the Apache server and MySQL server. Then go to your browser and type localhost PHP MyAdmin. And as you can see, this is our PHP MyAdmin dashboard. So here we will create a database. So I already have a database named database1. So I am not creating any new database, but I have to create a new table. So let me name the table as login. And let me keep the number of columns as 2 because we only need the username and password columns. So the first column will be username and the second column will be password, and the type will be varchar for username and password also. Let me keep the length as 30 and 30. And yes, so that's it. Now click on save. So this is my table, login. Now insert some values. for logging in. So let me give my name as the username. My name is Rijusri and I am giving the name as username, and let me give the password as admin, ADMIN. Then click on go, and now we have inserted our username and password. So at the time of logging in, we will use this username and password to log in. Now let me create a new file for creating the connection. Let me give the name as connection.php. Server name is localhost, and then username is root. In my case, I have given the username as root to my database, username to my Xampp server. You should give the username which you have given for your Xampp server at the time of installation. My password is also root, and now I have to give the database name which I have created. Let me see what is my database name. It is database 1, as you can see. So I have to give it database 1, and yeah, everything is all right. $con equals to new MySQL I, and inside it we will give at first the server name, and then the username, and then the password, and at last the database name. And I have to explicitly mention the port number because I have changed it from 3306 to 3307. If you have not changed, you don't need to do it, but in case you are facing an error, please mention the port number like me as 3307, or if you have the port as 3306 by default, then give that port number here. Now if the connection is not correct, like if we get a connect error, then what we have to do, we will give a message using the function die. So this die function prints a message and exits the current script. Okay, so we will give the message as connection failed $con connect error else. Oh, we don't have to give else. If there is no connection error, then it will automatically go outside if, and it will echo a message as connection successful. Okay, let me check it once. Yes, everything is right. Okay, no, we have, okay, so we have not given the $sign here. Let me give the $sign and save. Now we have to include this connection file in the index.php file. So what I have to do is, in the index.php file, before the HTML begins, we have to add this PHP snippet. Okay, inside this PHP snippet, we have to include the connection file. So include connection.php. Okay, so now let's check it once whether everything is right or not. Yeah, as you can see, connection successful is appearing here, but we don't want this message to appear here. So instead of connection successful, we will just give empty quotes. Okay, just don't print anything in case the connection is successful. So yeah, nothing is shown here, but the connection is successful, as we have seen earlier. Now it's the time to create the login form. To create the login logic, we have to create a separate file, and I will give the name as login.php. Inside this login.php, I will give the logic to log in to this website. Okay, so at first, inside this login.php, I have to include the connection file, because without connection nothing will happen in PHP MySQL. So at first I have to create the connection, so include connection.php, and it's all right. Now we have to extract the username and password values from the form, and the form is present in index.php. Now I need to add the attribute action equals to login.php, so that when I will click on the submit button, it will redirect us to this login.php page. Okay, so up to this everything is correct. So now let's check it once in the browser whether there is any mistake or not. Yeah, no error is showing, so it's all right. Now straight up go to the login.php. Now let us extract the username. Username equals to $post, because we are using the method post, so we will be extracting the username through that, and the name of this field username was given as user, so I am giving user inside the single quotes, and the next line password, we will extract it similarly. Pass was the name given to the password field. And yes, don't forget to enclose it within isSet function, otherwise it will show some error. isSet $post submit. We are using this because only if we click on the submit button, then only it will redirect us to this login logic. So it is very essential to use this isSet function, or else it will show an error in the output screen. Now let's just check once whether anything wrong. Okay, so nothing wrong is there. So now let me create the query. So what is the logic behind the login? So whatever username and password the user will enter, we will check whether that username and password is present in the database table or not. If at least one row is present in the database table, having that username and password, then login should be successful. So $SQL equals to select star from login, because our table name is login, where username will be $username as per entered by the user, and password will be $password. Okay, I think this should be correct. $SQL is equal to select star from login, where username equals to username and password equals to password. Let me check once. Yeah, it's correct. Now we will store the result after fetching the rows, and we will store it in this result variable. We will fetch the result using this function MySQLi query. My SQLi query, and within that we will give the connection object and the SQL query. Now we need to store the result as an array. So $row MySQLi fetch array and give the parameter result where the result is stored. MySQL li as sock, and then we will see the count of the rows. How many rows it has returned, we will store it in the count. Again, MySQLi num rows $result. Okay, so let me check once whether there is any error or not. No error is there until now. Okay, no error is there. So now the main logic comes. If count, don't forget to give the dollar before count. If count equal to 1, then what I have to do? If count equal to 1, I will redirect it to my welcome page. So location will be welcome.php. Okay, location will be welcome.php. Else what I will do is I will give an alert message. For that I have to give echo, and within that I have to write my script. Window dot location dot href, not href, equals to index.php. If the username and password is wrong, then we will redirect it again to the index.php containing the login form. So for that, this script, and also I will show a message in the alert. I will show an alert message in the form of login failed, invalid username or password, bracket close, and I have to end the script tag and then end the quotes, semicolon, and that's it. Let me see whether there is any error or not. Let me give 3 exclamation marks in the alert message. Save. So now let's create a new file as welcome.php. And yeah, this is the welcome.php, and we will show a message within h1 tag as login, login successful. Now check it once, refreshing the browser, and then registry admin as the password, login, and yay, login successful. So our login is successful. But what if I give a wrong username and password? Username I am giving registry, and password I am giving 123, because this is the wrong password. So what I am seeing nothing. There is an error now. So what is the error? Let's see. Yes, I have given the wrong codes. Instead of the single quotes, I had given some other code. Okay, no problem. I'm correcting it. Now let's check it once. And I have not given any username and password. Clicking on login, I am getting this message, login failed, invalid username or password. On clicking on OK, it is redirecting me again to the login page, means the index.php page containing the login form. So yeah, this is how you create your login form using PHP and MySQL. Now, in place of username and password, I want it to show a alert message if I keep this empty. If I give an empty username or empty password, then I want it to show a message to me. For doing that, again go back to the index.php. I want to validate this form. So when I will click on this form, a function will run. So on submit, I want to return this function is valid. So it will check in the front end only whether I have kept the username or password field empty or not. So if I give the username and password field empty, then it should be invalid, right? So we don't need to go to the login logic at all. We can check it in the front end only. So I have given this function is valid. For that I have to write a script. So go below this div and open the script tag, close the script tag. I have this habit of closing tags when I open it. So now define this function is valid where user equals to document dot form, since the id is form, document dot form, name is form, document dot form dot user, name given to this username input field is user, so I am giving user dot value. I am extracting the value. And similarly for password also, I am copying and pasting this to save time. Pass document dot form dot pass dot value. And now I will check. If user dot length equal to empty double quotes and pass dot length double equal to empty quotes, then it will show an alert message, username password field is empty. And return false. I will return false, so the login logic will not get triggered. Yeah, that's it. Let me correct the indentation and all. And then if else, if, let me copy this and paste here. If user dot length is nothing, then only username field is empty, so username is empty, and close the bracket right here. Again we will copy and paste this. If pass dot length is empty, length of password is empty, then password is empty, and again we will return false so that the login logic does not get triggered. So let's check it once. Is it working correctly or not? So now as you can see, I have not given any username or password. I'm clicking on login and alert message shows username and password field is empty. Now I am giving the username as registry and keeping the password empty. Login, password field is empty. And now I am keeping the username empty and I am giving something in the password field and click login. Okay, username is empty. So yeah, as you can see, our login form is ready. We have validated and we have authenticated it as well. So this is your login form using PHP MySQL and HTML, CSS and JavaScript also. So if you have liked this video, subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends and family so that they can also get help from it if they want. Also comment down below if you have any doubts or not. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching my video. Have a nice day.